Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit today, here on the official Lotro Twitch stream. I'm Little Redhead. Today, we're gonna go do some different things. We are in between festivals right now. The Spring Festival just finished, and the Anniversary Festival will be coming up next, but that has not started yet. We've got a little bit of time. So today we're doing a little bit more multimedia, if you like. So I've got stuff open all over the place here. So I may be looking around a little bit more today than your average day. So today we are going to be doing a race change token, and that's going to be exciting. And I've got the Lotro.com. They've got a kind of a guide on how to do that. So we're going to follow along with that, and we're going to take a look at a whole bunch of things in there. However, as I was preparing for today, I've been working on this for a little while, and then this morning the tweet went out that they are doing some maintenance on the in-game store. So we're gonna hope that the store will be open again in the second hour of today's stream. So that's gonna be the plan. So for the first hour, we're gonna spend some time going around and acting and doing the chicken session play. So let's go ahead and take a look. So just as a preparation, before we enter here, I wanted to show you that currently Rosenbloom here, she is a human. So you see she's got Minas Tirith in the background with the prow sticking out. Now when we come to do her race change, there will be this change race button will be apparently available. Right now it says that we don't have any race change credits. So log into any character, get a token from the Lotro store. So that's what we're gonna do later on. Oh. Right, let me see. I can't show you. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. And we're gonna look at some of those deeds too. But so right down here, let's see, you can't see my mouse for some reason. Well, you can see how it's got new character and then delete character, and then right underneath that is the race change. So that is where we're going to be clicking on later. Okay, so let's move that back into place. And Adamantia, you'll see her background is all this hobbity stuff. And so that's what Rosenbloom's will look like later on. But first, we're gonna go ahead and head on in to Middle Earth. So the first thing we're gonna do, as we should always do, is go see Wenda, right? Wenda Cranesbill, and get our VIP. So we're gonna start off with that. And I will try to keep an eye on the chat from time to time and see how everybody is doing over there. Let's see, we've got somebody's on a phone call. Awesome. Currently on hold for eternity. Well, good luck with getting a hold of your car insurance and all that. Okay, so the festival just ended, so I am out here where the festival was happening. That's usually how a lot of our characters wake up, right? As you wake up and like, look at that. Oh, the festival's over. Where'd everybody go? All right, time to get out of here. So we're gonna go ahead and head back. Oh, actually, I was gonna head back to Bree, but she's a hunter. We can go anywhere. We wanna go to Mickledelving, because that is a great place to go and get your VIP. It's like, I think the Wenda Cranesbill that you find in Mickledelving is like the closest to the hunter teleport spot. So I love it. All right, Hobbit music and chill. Awesome. I am glad you guys are enjoying my Hobbit music. That is Chase Thomas. I asked him if we could use some of his music from in the game as our intro here, and he said yes. So very, very pleased to do that. All right, so here's Wenda. We pick up our VIP quest. We complete our VIP quest. And nom nom nom, glug 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 glug. Now what I like to do is I like to go ahead and have this out on my quick slot bar, and I tuck it way down here in the corner, so it's like zoop click, zoop click. I can usually hit that without making big mistakes. I am not as precise with clicking as some people are, so that is important for me to be able to kind of generally click things. Hail and well met all. Says one person, can't wait for the Anniversary Festival. I know. I was actually looking at the wiki the other day to see what is the Anniversary Festival, like what's in the next box that I'll probably be getting, because I will be getting the 4-year anniversary box this year, I believe. So that's gonna be exciting. So somebody says they love the horse race and the bull roarer fence challenge. I don't know if I love those. I am not so good at them. The horse racing I'm getting better at. I've learned that if I kind of tilt up and scroll out, I do pretty good at that angle. And then I've learned how to use my mouse to move when I'm doing the fences, or not the fences, but the rails when you're doing the horse race. So like I could move like this and move like this. So I'm getting better at doing the parts that you have to, and then jump to the next section. Oh boy, but the bull roarer, not a chance. I am so bad at that. Even without post-processing, I'm terrible, terrible, terrible. I usually ask a friend to do it for me. I say, honey, can you come sit in my seat and do that challenge for me? Because that's one of the things you need for there's a deed. Oops, that's not the deeds. It might be easier to just go in the deed log. Let's see, class race epic. And it's a social thing. And what is it called? Like, is it a spring? Spring is dandy? Spring is sprung? Yeah, complete Spring Festival run in Brie, Bull Roarers Challenge. You have to do that in the advanced at the Feast of the Greenfields. So that's probably the only thing I'm missing. Let's see. Oops, that's not going to do it. So let's go back in here. Class, race, and social. What's it called again? Spring is dandy. So that's why I love this deed tracker. Another reason, because I can find things. Yeah. Oh wait, I'm missing 3 things. Laugh at the lost. Oh, I haven't done the signs for the elves. I don't think I did that at all this year. And misplaced companions. I didn't do the searching for elves on every character. That's true. That's true. Well, you know what? It gives me something to look forward to for next year, and that is okay. All right. Talking about listening to Chance Thomas on other places as well. So excited that he's did stuff for Lotro. So, okay, so we're going to go over here. And Wald Sanson, we did a quest for him initially. Let me double check what that one was called. Called Which Laid First. And so if you've gone through and done that, that's the one where you come in here and he's like, well, I took some eggs out and I took them out of the wrong places and now they're all mad at me, so you got to go put these eggs back. And you have to go back and put them back in the right order. And so there's a nest for Pimpinella, there's a nest for Bellflower, there's like 5 of them out here. And you have to make sure you put the egg back into the correct nest. Once you've done that, that opens up this current quest, which is called the Early Bird, where he wants us to go find out what is bothering Bilna. So I've already picked up that quest. So Early Bird. All right, we'll go ahead and click that. So what he had said to us before when we pick up this quest, he said, do you see that chicken over there, the big one? She is the queen of the hen house and Dad's favorite, Bilna. Bilna used to be the best egg layer in the whole of West Farthing, but the other day she just up and stopped laying eggs altogether. Dad says if she doesn't start laying eggs soon, she's going to end up as supper. I know she can still lay eggs, and I would hate to see her on my dinner plate, no matter how fat she is. You were so helpful with returning those eggs. I am sure that you'll be able to figure out what is wrong with Bilna. Okay, so that's the quest that we're currently on. And so my friend Affadil here and we're going to go and talk to Bilna. And what this is going to do is this is going to take us into the very first of our chicken sessions. So we examine her. It says, Bilna looks very hungry. Okay, so now notice it says 25 slots open. So you could get 25 people on the server all playing as chickens at the same time. Beyond that, though, I don't think it'll let you. I mean, it's worth trying someday, right? We should totally try that someday. Okay, so if I go and say play, so now it's waiting to let me in. I think Affadil is going to come along with me and also do the same thing. Oh, I think Affodil is actually going to go and do the first part with the putting eggs in the right spot. And then she will join us. So you'll notice we've got chickens here, and there's worms. That's a little foreshadowing. Okay, so chicken play. A noble chicken, you have but lately reclaimed your foul-ish freedom. With all the land of Middle-earth before you, it is for you to decide where your feet and tiny wings will carry you. Okay. So now, one thing you'll notice is it messes up all of your plugins and any chat tabs that you had sorted out. It's all wiped away. So everything like, getting rid of world chat off onto its own, any of that stuff is gone. Now, while you're a chicken though, you can't, you are not in a fellowship, you're not in a kinship, you are just a chicken. So you can't interact with others. Let's see, there's Affodil. I mean, you can jump, and I can say, like, bok, but nothing happens. Like, I don't know if Affodil could see that. Oh, I should see if okay, I can see Affodil says bok bok in my chat. I wonder if no, not there. Let's see, if I go to, can I see chat bubbles as a chicken? All right, let's turn on the chat bubbles. Now notice that it wiped that away because I had that, on previously with all my other characters. There we go, bok bok. I am a chicken. Okay, so we have 18 minutes left here. We have 20 minutes total. We have to go collect earthworms for Bilna because it turns out she is hungry. So we have a couple skills. We can run really fast, get a little burst of speed there. Gives us 50% extra run speed, which is good if you end up like encountering one of those angry tuskers, because they will not, they're not good for you. And they do have a red bar, you'll notice. So over here, Affodil is trying to show us there is a mound of dirt. Eee! I love how we can fly. So if we check this mound of dirt, we're gonna scratch at it. See, we're scratching. I found dirt. Good job, fellow chicken. And we're done scratching. We found some earthworms, hooray! And then it's kind of implied that we've picked them up, I guess. So once you've done a mound of dirt, your other chickens of the area cannot also do that mound of dirt. So, so you can do this thing where you can seek the worm. So yeah, you go ahead and take that one, Affodil. I will, so let's see here. So we're checking. So it shows us, oh, hey, there might be worms in all of these locations. So, oh, it went away. I will try, which one was it? Was it this one? We'll check this mound of dirt. And watch out, we're watching for the red dots on the screen to make sure we don't get, become somebody's dinner. Yes, watch out for that wolf, says Affodil. It is very good. Oh, Lemons Nation. I think, wait, I saw you the other night over on somebody else's stream. Well, welcome. That is awesome that you have started playing in the game. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This is a silly little thing. So in with Lord of the Rings Online, I mean, there's so much you can do, right? You can follow along the Fellowship kind of in parallel to what they were doing. You can go and do raids. You can work on gear and all that stuff. You can buy a house and decorate it, and like there's all sorts of things you can do. Huh, I can pick up a yarrow root. I assume it's going to disappear at the end. Interesting. But yeah, so I like to focus on kind of the more lighthearted and social things that happen in Lord of the Rings Online. So usually you'll find me at the festivals, and in these weeks in between festivals, we find other fun things to do, which today is digging in the dirt as a chicken. So far I found one worm. I am a very ineffective chicken at this time. Oh, so there we go, my thing came up. Oh, it disappears when the timer goes off. All right, or when I find one, maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got a second earthworm. Bilna's gonna be happy with me. Oh, we can get rid of this travel window. Chickens don't know how to use travel. Which is really funny because you can't even, you could go and talk to the stable master as a chicken, but he just kind of looks at you because, you're a chicken. So he's not going to let you take a horse. I see a red dot nearby. On the other side of that wall, I think. We're not going to go that way. So we've got a Tusker. Oh, Aphidille's got all her worms. Awesome. Well, let me see if I can find some more. So /follow works as a chicken. So if you're going to the same place as another chicken, you can just /follow and go with them, which we might do here in a little bit. Ooh, yeah, I'm up to 3 worms. Let's check this one. This one's not near that Tusker. It might be safe. What do we think? What do we think? And yay, we have worms. Okay, so talk to Bilna. So I think we go back to her. Yeah, I think we go back to her. Oh yeah, we want to go back to where she's at. All right, so we're gonna. Oh yeah, we should use our burst of speed. Let's try that. Zero. Look at that. Yeah, fast chicken on the run. Zero. No. Oh yeah, went on the roof. Okay, so we're back here at Sanson's farm. You may recognize the place. He can run backwards as a chicken too. That's great. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, click on Bilna. Who might you be? I do not believe I have seen you in the hen house before. Well, no matter. Are those earthworms you have for me? I simply will not eat anything but earthworms these days. I have not taken well to the new feed in the yard. Okay, so we finished that. Session completed. You will be logged off in 7 seconds. And Aphidille says bye. Bye. Pastor Jedi says, nice. I didn't know there was a Team Lotro on Twitch. There is, yes. And let's see, Eldaleth, if you're not too busy on your, waiting phone calls, we'll post some links to the team stuff. She knows all the links. I know I can do Thursday. I know how to do that one. DAY. So that's who the streamers are today. So I'm Little Redhead, and then after me will be Red Baron, and then there's Eldaleth, and then there's Epic Uger, and yes, there's follow the Moobot schedule. Moobot's useful. Okay, I feel strange. Coughing out some feathers. All right, so now we're gonna go back over to Wald. Now notice, because I was offline as me, my find the path was off, everything changes, right? Okay, so we're gonna go over here and talk to Wald. Hello. And we're gonna turn this in. So Bilna was just hungry for some earthworms. Well, I'm glad that you figured out what was wrong with her. Now she'll be safe from Dad's cooking pot. That chicken is an odd one. If she takes to you, she will show you exactly what is bothering her. Why, I'd wager she would talk if she knew how. If only you knew, Wald. Okay, so that was the first one. And so now the next one is called The Sky is Falling. And he says, Bilna is eating again, but she still looks upset. You did as good a job as you could be asked getting her to eat again. Do you think you could calm her too? Pa doesn't like me fussing with Bilna, says I get her too excitable. He has taken a liking to you, though. Maybe he would even hire you on as a farmhand if you had a mind for it. I could use the extra help. So our objective is to go examine Bilna. So we're going to go back and check in with our favorite chicken here again. Hey, Bilna, what's up? She seems very agitated about something. This time, this is 50 slots now. Oh, you could get as many as 50 doing this one. That's exciting. All right, so let me get a drink of water. Yes, that's a good point in the chat, that all of us that are streaming on this channel and all the mods and everybody here, all volunteers, we're just fans of the game. We really enjoy the game and we enjoy sharing it with other people. So if you're looking for an SSG employee, Cordovan, he streams on Fridays at noon Eastern time. And then occasionally you'll have other folks on, like yesterday, Scenario, who's one of the world builders working for Standing Stone Games. And he was on and did a kind of walk around of some of the places. So that was pretty neat. But yes, the rest of the time, it's just us fans having a good time, playing around, sharing our adventures with other people. So, okay, so chicken play. A noble chicken, you have lately reclaimed your fowlish freedom. With all the land of Middle-earth before you, it is for you to decide where your feet and tiny wings will carry you. We've heard that before. All right, Bilna, what's up? Well, she says, hello again. I was beginning to think you wouldn't come back after you brought me that nice present. I thought maybe you were taken by one of those terrible wolves. Time was when we didn't have to worry about wolves. There were so few, and the farmer would always drive them off when they did try to sneak into the coop. But more and more of us have been disappearing lately. I think that it may be wolf mischief. We need a brave rooster, oh, we're roosters, right, such as yourself, to go and warn the other coops and find out exactly what is going on. There are coops at Brownlock's farm to the east and slightly north on the road to Needlehole, Cotton's farm to the east in Bywater, and Bam Furlong far to the east and south along the river. So we have 3 different chicken coops that we need to go and visit, and we're basically getting the chicken gossip and finding out what's going on. So Bilna's not allowed to leave this area, but we are. So we're gonna go and say hi. Okay, so Affadil, how about I follow you? You show us where's a good one to start. I'll pull up the map here so you can see we need to go, we're here, and we need to go over here, and way over here. So if I recall correctly, normally we start here, and then work our way to here, and then work our way to here, because as soon as you finish that last one, your session play ends, and it automatically transports you right back here. So you might as well go that way and then take the free transport back. Let's see, so people are talking about, says, sweet, glad to find you guys, awesome. That is a very cute quest. This is a whole chain of really cute quests. So, and give you a little bit of spoilers here. So we're gonna be walking around in the Shire, and then at some point we're gonna open up, and basically we're gonna have one that takes us over to Breeland, and we have some animals to talk to over there. And then so we go to a whole bunch of different places throughout Middle Earth and talk to different critters. So it's fun. It is fun. Oh, that's true. If I do a UI layout load, that's true. Okay, so you can't see what I'm typing, but if I do /UI layout, I can't spell layout load, and I'll do one of my layouts, and it takes a second, but it should give me back my speech bubbles. There we go. Let's see. So if I go walk, nope, it didn't load my speech bubbles. I'll have to go back and get them. But it did load. It did all the other stuff, so that's funny. Let's see, bubble. Chat bubbles, that's what I want. There we go. Now I've got my chat bubble. I feel better. Okay. Okay, so somebody says they're kind of overwhelmed with the UI, trying to figure out which quests to do and where to go. So when you're first starting out in Lotro, I recommend following the epic line. And what I mean by that is when you're not a chicken, go to your quest log. And when you first, wolves, there's wolves in the area. We have to be careful. You see, there's lots of red dots here. Gotta worry about those wolves. We were told there are wolves. Oh, hang on, we're almost at our first location, and then we'll go back to talking about the stuff. So in the future, when you come back to this area, you'll notice that there's a chicken standing up here. Well, you get to interact with the chicken this time, so this is pretty awesome. So we talked to the chicken, and we asked her about the wolves, and she says, wolves? Of course I have seen the wolves. Have you looked around? Almost our entire coop has been taken. There have been some folk carrying off the survivors down to Waymeet, though. All right, well, that's good to know. All right, so I'm gonna follow Affadil again. So you can know you're in chicken play for a number of reasons. One, you look like a chicken. 2, wolves will kick your butt. We need to do fast, runny. Run, run. We got a wolf on our tail, almost literally. Oh no, I stopped running. Okay. Whew. All right, so yes, you have a little tilde in front of your name. And that's also how you know that they're a chicken and that they're a player playing a chicken. So if we were to run across somebody out here in the landscape, and we're playing on Laurelin right now, in case you were curious what server that we're on. If we were to come across like another player, we would be able to interact with them by like, jumping and that sort of thing. And that's about it though. Like, and that's an NPC, so that doesn't help us, but, you can't really like, we can't chat in world chat. I mean, there's no, apparently Affodil's flirting with the chicken. Hey there. Come here often. Nice feathers you got there. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's see. You were overwhelmed with the UI. Yes, go to the Epic quest line. When you first start as a character, when you have a very brand new character, a lot of times you'll have, what's a chicken like you doing here? You'll have a prologue that it takes you through the introduction area. So like if you start as a hobbit, it sends you to the Shire and you do this quest chain where like Lobelia wants some, one of Lobelia's relatives was with you and they want recompense from the mayor and you've got a quest chain to go with that. Or if you start as a dwarf or an elf, you've got some stuff that takes you through Ered Luin from the top if you're a dwarf and from the bottom if you're an elf. But they kind of combine at various points. And it's about, there's a set of dwarves that are the dour hands and they're causing trouble. And you as an elf or you as a dwarf kind of combine forces with the other to find out what's going on and deal with the threats of those people. And if you're a human, it takes you through like you go through our chat and then you go into some parts of different areas of Bree. But lovely sunflowers. Oh, they are there. Thank you. I keep forgetting to check if there are sunflowers here during the non-festival time. And there is. Hooray! So for those of you who were doing the spring festival, there was a quest to go and that dealt with sunflowers. So that's really awesome to see that they're there. Yay! So if you're a starting character and you're new to playing Lord of the Rings Online, I would follow that epic storyline. It'll say epic prologue, and then it'll be like epic book 1, and you have stuff underneath that. And I'll show you mine when we get back after we've talked to these other animals. And that's a good place to go. It helps introduce you to a lot of the concepts of how to take care of things. Like, for example, you have bags. How do you use those bags? Putting stuff in and out of your bags, and the various things you can do. So the Epic line does a pretty good job of doing that. And it also does a pretty good job of getting you gear, like armor pieces and jewelry and the things that help give you protection and give you more hit points. So that's a good place to start. All right, here we are at the Cotton's farm. So there's Rosie, who's of Samwise's, yes, future. All right, so yeah, we come and see the Cottons from time to time. For example, during the spring festival, we came over here and talked to one of the Cottons about the shrews. Okay, so let's come talk to this chicken, though. She says, wolves here in the Shire, wolves have not dared to venture in so far since the old times, or so legends tell. I don't rightly know what we could do about such an attack. If there is anything that we can do here, let us know. Give my regards to Bilna. All right. So, she's a well-to-do chicken. And Affodil's on top of the chicken coop. That's great. I can see so far from up here. Can you see your home? Can you see? Whoop. There we go. Oops. I'm clicked on the chicken. I don't want to follow the chicken. I want to follow Affodil. Where'd you go? I lost you already. Uh-oh. This is where being in a fellowship was more useful. Oh, there you are. Thank you. But you can't fellowship up as chickens. Oh, yeah, okay, that's true. So if I hover over, wait, stand still. If I hover over and I push H, it creates a tooltip. And I can stick that off on the side. So then if I lose track of her, I can click that and it clicks her. Ha ha. All right, I'm ready to follow. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder on the tooltip. All right, so yeah, Eldoleth was saying that the quest labeled epic will be the best one to primary follow. It will lead you to different areas. Yep, that's a good one. You probably have an epic quest that is listed as prologue. So, and I can go into mine. What when you have a second, tell me what kind of character you started as, what race, and then I can try and help guide you on figuring out where your quest chain should be. So, let's see. If you can you do chicken runs whenever? Oh, you can do the chicken runs. Yeah, yeah, you can do the chicken runs anytime. But you're always a level 1 chicken, regardless of whether your main character is a level 10 or level 130. Intro prologue. Is there a place I can go to get my epic quest? I'm level 23 now. High Elf Rune Keeper. So High Elf is slightly different in the way they start. You're in Ostgaruth. Wow, you have gone far from home. There's the prologue for, you know what, just go talk to Barlaam Butterbur at the Prancing Pony in Bree. He will have a quest for you. Oh, I forget what it's called. I just did it yesterday, 2 days ago. But he'll have a quest for you that takes you to go talk to Strider inside the Prancing Pony. So that's where you're going to want to start. How is your bar? Oh, how does my bar at the bottom look like this? I am a real fan of using UI skins. And so the UI skin that I am using here, there's a collection called JRR skins. And you can get that from the Lotro interface. It's not official Lotro stuff. It's all fan stuff. Let's see. LotroInterface.com. Like I said, they're not official, but a lot of fans have done stuff there, and it's been tested enough that it generally does not cause any problems with gameplay. So somebody mentions that the quest forward is called Forward, an Unwanted Guest. So that's what you're probably going to want to look for and see if you have that in your quest log already. Oh, cool. Moobot, thanks. Lotro Interface. Awesome. Thank you, Aldalath. She's so good. And newest update notes are coming out. Awesome. Okay, so we are trucking our way through here, and Affodil is dodging flies for us. Most appreciated. So we're working our way. This is near the Stock Tower over there, and the Veil Height is over there, which if you're doing the deed, Slayer deed for flies in the Shire, that's a great place to find them. There's lots of them. The place is thick with flies. So this UI skin I have on, let's take a look, is under UI settings. And then you go down and keep going. Here it is, under miscellaneous, current user skin. So, I mean, it's built in that this is, people do this. And I'm using the JRR Spirit of Elfwood is this particular one that I'm using. I tend to use that on my elves, and I went ahead and just loaded the UI skin for elves that I have. I'll switch to a different one in a minute. I think I've got a Hobbit one saved. Okay, so here we are at Farmer Maggot's farm, and we have been sent not to talk to Farmer Maggot, of course, nor to the dogs, but to, of course, a chicken. Because that's what we're doing. We're checking in with the chickens. All right, chicken, how's it going? What is that now? Wolves? No, of course not. Not here in the Shire. I have heard rumors of them, yes, but they are just that, rumors. Chickens get to talking, and can come up with wild, fanciful stories. The only wolf on this farm is a dog, because one of the dogs is named Wolf. Of course, the farmer's dogs may be why we have no wolves. They are good protectors. Okay, so I hit finish now, and that finishes the session. I've done all of my all the things I needed to complete for this session. I did all my quest objectives. So it's sending me back to the farm. And that's why we did it this way, because then we go and back. So if you're doing the flies in the Shire, yes, sickle flies are found in the wildwood, as well as in the swampy, boggy area where the hobbits got chewed up by the flies as they were walking towards Weathertop. I just forgot the name of the place. So because that's in Breeland. So if you're doing flies in the Breeland, that's a good place for them now. Is the wildwood counts too. So, all right, we are back. Now, before I do that, I'm going to pull up my quest log. Oh, oh yes, ka-cha. It's so funny, I forgot that happens. That one of the other roosters like runs up and talks to her, just like as if they were another rooster in the chicken play or something. And then they just wander off. I find that amusing. Okay, so if I look at my quest log, oh, because I'm still a chicken. Hang on. Let me stop being a chicken. No, not that. That rooster seems very familiar. Bilna looks slightly less agitated than before, but she looks as if she is waiting for something. Go talk to Wald. All right, let's go talk to Wald. The sky is falling. That's the quest we're on, is the sky is falling. Bilna looks much calmer, Rosenbloom. Thank you. By the way, did you happen to see an odd rooster on the farm? I thought I saw one, but I never got a good look at it. Might have been us. Okay, so the next one we can pick up from him is called Flying the Coop. He says, wouldn't you know, as soon as you calmed down Bilna, George started to act all queer. I'm not sure what has gotten into my dad's chickens, but it seems he only trusts you to calm them. If you would, go and see what is wrong with George. He is a very important rooster. He always warns me when wolves are prowling about. So that's a good thing. Okay, so... what? Does it think I have stuff typed in here? Okay, that's why. Let's go back to the video. Okay, so in your quest log, now mine's got a bunch of stuff going on, but you should have something, you might have something that says epic, and then it'll say like what volume you're in, volume 1, volume 2. I happen to have picked up the epic in multiple places with this character. I can click here to show my completed, what ones I've already finished. So for example, epic volume 1 prologue. She's an elf, not a high elf, but it was a bunch of stuff here. As a high elf, the quest chain, the prologue takes you to Kellendon, which is in the very south part of Ered Luin. I just started a high elf a couple days ago. So it starts you off down here in Kellendon, and you go through this little quest chain where you're debating whether to get on a boat and go to off to the west, or whether to stay and help out with what seems to be some changes that are happening here in Middle Earth, and maybe you could be useful to help out with that. Excuse me. So as a high elf, you probably have some things there. You have to look at some memories, that sort of thing. It's whether you've done that or not. The prologue is not required. You can just skip right past the prologue and not even bother with it, because then you can just jump straight into book 1, volume 1, and like they said earlier, it's the one with Barlaman, Butterbur, and it's not it. Volume 1. Oh, I'm in the middle of the book 1. It should show up on my completed. Volume 1, book 1, Strings in the Darkness. Nope. That's still Dowerhand stuff. I don't know. Just go talk to Barlaman. He knows everything. And it sounds like you guys might be getting together to play together for a little while anyway, so, yep. Cool. Okay, sorry. We are supposed to go and talk to George. Let's go talk to George. Hey, George. Oh, when it comes to UIs, by the way, you can save your settings. So like, let's say I have this all set up. I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I've moved things around. I've done the control backslash, and I was like, oh, okay, let's put this here and let's put this there. And like, I've moved everything where I want it to be, and I've sized it and, changed the size of this and changed the size of that, and everything's perfect. You can save it by /UI space layout space save, and then you give it a name. And you can actually pull this up, UI, yeah. So if you just type /UI and hit enter, it'll give you the options. Oh, which server is this? We are on Laurelin right now. And I think we're gonna probably be on Laurelin for the rest of the day. So yes, you are more than welcome to come join us as a chicken. So yeah, if you wanted to save this, you do /UI space layout space, and then you choose save, and then space, and then give it a name. And it has to be a single word, I believe. Or you can do UI layout load, and then type in something you've saved previously. So that's how I got that one. So like I have this layout with Rosenblum here. So let's say I do UI layout save. We'll call this Rose. So now it's saved it. It's in my computer. It's in the documents folder, basically. And then eventually it will, if I go then load that later, it should look just like this. All right. If we're going to look at flying the coop, yes, if you do like B414 there, /UI space layout space save space chicken, that saves a layout, which you can call chicken. Yeah, having to set up your AUI on each character can get really annoying. Now the funny thing though is I did a save with one of my Hobbit characters, didn't think about the fact that it was, all this Hobbity stuff down here. And so now all my characters, when I load it, get the Hobbit UI. So I was like, oh right, maybe I should come up with a different plan for that. But it's fine because I like the way the bars are and everything. So it's just funny. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and play as George. Oh, flying the coop only starts with 20 spots. Interesting. I didn't know they had a different number of people could play as different chicken sessions. All right, so let's find out what is up with George. Doo-doo-doo. All right, so we know that. There's a rooster. Hi, rooster. Boy, we're teeny compared to that guy. Look at that. All right. Hey, George, what's up? He says, I thank you for your bravery, my fellow rooster, but I fear that it may not have been enough to save many of us from a terrible fate. While you were away, I had time to think over the circumstances and consider our options. If we do nothing, our numbers will surely dwindle. A similar doom befell Dora Brownlock's coop, and I fear ours is not far off. I cannot leave the coop. I have too many responsibilities with half of the coop under my supervision. I will set this task upon you. Travel out into the world, even beyond the borders of the Shire. Speak with other animals you encounter and see if you can find anyone willing to help us in our plight. So you should begin by seeking out animals here in the Shire. So we're going to talk to creatures of the Shire. And first we're going to... So what this person sees is just, some random chickens with tildes next to their names. Flapping around. Whee! All right, I'm going to tooltip Affodil. Whoop, no, I'm not. Affodil, stop moving. Thank you. We're being patted on the head. Why, thank you. Okay, so let's do UI, layout, load. What did we do? We did rows. See, now I've got that kind of Rohirric layout at the bottom. Stupid chat bubbles don't save. Bubble. Chat bubbles. There we go. Okay, Affodil, I am following you. So we're going to go talk to creatures in the Shire, and they're not exactly the same creatures we talked to before, but they may be familiar to you, depending on which quests you have done. So I also spend a lot of time doing the quests in the Shire because I find them very cute and adorable. It's often things like, well, my farm's been overrun by wolves. Can you go and save my chickens? Oh, here's your chickens, or, hey, I've lost my bag up in the tree and I'm going to throw a rock and get it down, even though there happens to be a beehive right there. And oh gosh, I've hit the beehive, and then what? I mean, it's silly things like that, as opposed to some of the other areas where it's like, we're being attacked by hordes of orcs and people are dying and, things are on fire. It's like, well, sure, yes, things have changed in Middle Earth over time, but, sometimes it's nice to go back to the lighter side of things, and that's kind of where things are in the Shire still. Although, you'll notice, and Professor Corey, who streams on Fridays, will talk about this, about how over time, things change throughout Middle Earth, and you start to see some of those changes coming into the Shire right at the time that the four hobbits are leaving, right? Because you've got Gandalf, who's gone to go and look at the papers and find out if maybe there's something going on with this ring, and then he figures things out or starts to really put the pieces together. He gets back to Frodo, so Frodo, he's like, Frodo, you really should, we got to get you out of here. And 20 years later he goes. But that during that time, and the time when Frodo's leaving and has just left, you see that the wolves are coming in more. You see that the goblins are coming in from the north in Lotro. You've got the Dour Hands that are also coming in. You've got these brigands that have shown up in the south and are taking over a pipeweed farm. And goblins, I didn't sign up for goblins. So there's all these outside forces that are encroaching on the Shire. So as much as, it would have been great for the hobbits to not have to leave and not deal with the ring, and had they just said, never mind, we'll just dig a hole and throw it in the ground underneath the, potatoes, that wouldn't have solved the problem. The problem was coming to them anyway. And it's really interesting to watch how Lotro takes those little breadcrumbs of information and lays it out for us in the game to show us that, yes, there have been strange folk about in the Shire. And there are wolves in the Shire. There's things to be watching for. So, yeah. Okay. So, anything in the chat going on? Let's see. You could get the title Lord of the Wings, yes, but you have to take your chicken to Minas Tirith. So that's far down the road. We are not going to do that today, but there are a number of chicken titles that you can get. So even though as a chicken, you have no quest log that that persists. You don't have an inventory that persists, but you do have the quests. Sorry, any deeds that you complete while playing as a chicken, they do stick with your character. So at least there's that. And otherwise, there's no way to get the deeds. Yes, so on the wiki, the Lotro wiki, again, not an official product of Lord of the Rings Online, but pretty much accepted by the Lotro folks as that's fine. So over on the wiki, there's information about all of these different chicken quests, because like I said, you start off doing very small things, just checking, from here in the Shire and going to Bree and going to nearby places, and then you go. There's like an 8-hour session you get where you've got a bunch of places you got to go and stuff. And so it expands as you go. Okay, so here's our first critter we're going to talk to. We're going to check in with Old Sally, and she is also part of a quest chain from some other stuff that you can get. So it's fun that we get to interact with Old Sally and chit-chat with her. So she says, "Well, I am a pig, you fool rooster. Can't you see I'm in enough trouble as it is? What with all those nasty shrews about? Sometimes I wish that I was a pony." So she's going to keep on sleeping there until the next person comes and rescues her from the shrews and gets her back home safely. Is there a chicken quest from Mordor? think. Do you know, is there
Just the Christmas.
just the Crossroad Roads? There's Crossroad Roads.
There's the informal Santa one.
There's an informal run that some players do around Christmas time where they escort a chicken, or escort a low-level hobbit to Mordor. I think maybe that's how it goes. But that's an informal thing. First time on the stream, welcome, welcome. You love the background wall back here. So funny thing is these are the maps from inside the game. We just printed them out. We went to a place and took the digital files of each of the maps and asked them to print them out and send some nice card stock. And we put them up in the way that they are in the game. So here, let me have a quick go at the map. So let's see, that would be, whoops, not there. Ravanian and Gondor. Here we go. So yeah, so it's a lot of these Gondorian maps. So let's see, like Lebanon here. How do I get in there? There's Western Gondor. We've got, those are that way. Central Gondor. There we go. Yeah, so like these maps are what we've printed out and put on the wall. I get lost in the game from time to time. So yeah, it's we did it originally as a way to help me find my way around. So sometimes I'd be like, I can't figure out how to get from here to there. It's like, well, let's see, look on the wall, and then if I go to here, and, and then I used to take sticky notes and put them on the places where I had my milestone set. So I'm glad you enjoy it. It's been fun. Okay, so here's the fox, and I believe this may be the fox that is mentioned in Lord of the Rings as having observed the hobbits leaving the Shire and was wondering what was going on. Oh, yep, here we go. So he says, now, what is this? First 3 hobbits sleeping in the forest, and now a chicken? You want me to help protect your coop from wolves? My friend, I would sooner eat you, particularly since chicken is very high among my dietary choices. However, seeing as you were brave enough to speak with me in the first place, I will forego my lunch for now. So the fox isn't going to be much of a help to us in protecting the Shire from these incoming wolves. All right, so let's see if we can find our last one, which is back down, again, not too far from Maggot's farm. All right, so I'm going to follow Affadil, who's really good at the chicken stuff. Very good at the chicken stuff. So speaking of things in the background, so we got the, there's a new copy, a new version of the Silmarillion, and it's very pretty, and lots of great illustrations. Oh, there's a brigand on the road. A wigand on the road, we must be careful. Whoops, and then I just ran right into him. Okay, cool. We're gonna go this way. Bridge is good. Bridges are good. Bridges are safer. Well, maybe not when there's brigands. All right, so we have one more creature to talk to. And most of the areas it's like that. You've got 3 creatures to talk to, 3 or 4. And then once you've done, it'll teleport you back to the farm. So cool. Anyway, okay, so we got the new copy of the Silmarillion. And it has a couple of maps that are folded up that came with it. And one of them is a regular, or not maps, I mean pictures, illustrations. And they're really, really pretty. So I want to frame them and have them be what's in the backdrop. The problem is one of them is reversible. And so I was thinking about this, you know, in the middle of the night when you can't sleep. What if I got like glass panes on 2 sides and then I could just like turn it around from time to time? I don't know. Maybe not a good plan, but it's an interest, you know, it's a 3 o'clock in the morning plan. We'll see what comes of it. And I also thought, well, what if I had like easels and I put them up on the easels and those were like, you know, behind me and move the couch out and stuff. So yeah, maybe not the best ideas at 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's a start. Oh, good. So Epic Ogre posted the link to the Epic Quest line in that you find in the wiki, in the Lotro wiki. So yes, that's a great place to take a look and see if you can match up what quests you have with what quests you're looking for, and that can kind of give you an idea where to go. So here's a cool thing. This farm area that we're running through, this field, is the field. I'm pretty sure it's the one from the one of the festivals. So you run around and they're collecting eggs during the farmers fair, which is combined with the summer festival now. Not the midsummer festival. That's a different one. Okay, we are in Bam Furlong, and now this time we get to talk to the dogs. All right. So Fang says, "What do you want? Protect your coop against wolves? I have my own farm to protect and no time for others, but you would make a nice snack. Be on your way, Rooster." Grip says, "Shooing off a few wolves is mighty tempting, but I have too much work to do here. Besides, what if the wolves came here?" I mean, he's got a good point. And then the last one we need to talk to is Wolf himself, who's doing a good patrol. Hey, Wolf. Wee, wee, wee. Sorry, I got distracted by running around. Okay. "Ho there, Rooster. You aren't one of ours. What are you doing here? Trying to steal some of our hens for your coop?" "Wolves? We haven't seen any wolves around here, but if they show their shaggy faces at Bam Furlong, you can be sure we'll deal with them." And that is the last of our Shire quests for this Flying the Coop quest that we're doing. So we'll go back to the farm and then we'll pick up the next one. So my hope is that we'll still do a race change later on in the stream, but we'll probably do a couple more of these early, quicker chicken runs, and then we'll do some of the longer chicken runs. Next week, we're hoping to probably spend the entire 2 hours doing some of the longer chicken excursions. So that'll be fun. So hi there, how's things? Hi there. Things are good. Things are chicken. What's a good chicken pun then? They're just chickeny. I'm sorry. I just have a good pun for you. I'm sorry. I feel not myself. I'm just gonna wing it. There we go. All right. George flaps his wings excitedly. It seems he sees something approaching. Bye. Should we wave goodbye to the rooster? Bye, rooster. Okay. Oh, we gotta go talk to Wald. Hey, Wald. Whee. All right. Well, we learned that nobody's gonna help us with these things. George does seem a bit more peaceful, though with all the wolves around, I don't know if he will ever unruffle his feathers. You should go and see if you can calm him down a bit more, if you have the time, that is. All right, so we finished that one. And so from now on, I believe all of our chicken quests come directly from the chickens. Yep. Or rooster, I guess. So now George is ready to just have us talk directly to him. So now that quest chain opens up then this set of quests that we have access to now. So we can fly the coop through Breland, we can go to Erdlun, we can go to Evendim, we can go to the Lowlands, we can go North Downs, or we can go to Trollshaws. I think all of these are doable in a shortish period of time. So if you have a preference, put it in the chat, and we'll just do a quick poll. Tell me which one you like, and we'll go and do that. The one, let's see, we just did the Shire. So Shire's not listed, but yeah, the other, so we have 6 options here. Totally forgot what I was saying. How about Erdlun? I got 1 vote for Erdlun. Trollshaws. Where you can't see anything. I can't see when I go around the Trollshaws. I don't know why. It's the trees, the way they did the landscape, I'm constantly like, and I think it's because the way I like to play is kind of at a little bit higher, like looking down so I can see the ground around me. And I still miss the stairs every time though, so I don't know if maybe it's not helping. But because the trees then come in like at this level, am like constantly trying to look. And so I scoot down to here so I can see, and then it changes everything. Oh, I don't know. All right. We got 2 votes for the Troll Shaws. All right. So are you up for leading us through the Troll Shaws, Affadil?
Sure.
All right. Troll Shaws it is. Oh, all right. Here we go. George still seems agitated. Let us examine George. And so first you accept the quest, and then it allows you to go into the session play. All right. All right, so when we get in here, I'm going to put chat bubbles on because I like being able to see on the screen what's going on rather than having to watch my stuff there. So chat bubbles, accept. If any of you were ever not clear where to find chat bubbles, boy, after this session, you'll know exactly where to find it. Tooltip you. Yes, we are wild and fancy free chickens. Okay. Now let's load a different UI. UI, layout, load. How about sidebar? There it goes. Okay. Aha, there we go. Now you'll notice we have more abilities than we did in that very first session. We have paranoia. You're not sure what, but something isn't right. I can't remember what that one does. We'll come back to that. Possum impersonation. So you just lay down and you can't be attacked. It's your still as death, or that kind of equivalent, to make sure that you're able to not be attacked for a moment. No aggro. And then let's see. Bob and weave. It kind of bobs you and weaves you and gives you more evade chance, which is good because we're going to some more difficult areas. And then we still have our foul fleetness, which allows us to run faster. Paranoia, feigned death style skill. But I thought that's what, oh, that's possum. Yeah, possum is the feigned death one. Yeah. Let's see, what is this? Maybe this just tells us what's near us. I'm gonna try it. I don't know, it lasts for a minute. Increases your stealth detection. Ah, that's nice. Yeah, okay. Well, there's not too many stealthy things in the Shire, so I'm not too worried about it. But there will be in the Troll Shaws. Oh, you all are mean. All right, so you'll notice that we're running because we're chickens. We could do the speedy thing. I'm gonna do the speedy thing from time to time. Zoom. There we go. So we're going a little faster for a second, and then that'll wear off, and then we could wait to the timer. And so that's one way to kind of accelerate your running as a chicken through Middle Earth. But as I say, we are running. So thankfully, Lotro's Middle Earth is a bit smaller and quicker to traverse than, say, Tolkien's. So we're going to run across the Shire, go into Breeland. We're going to run across Breeland. We're going to get to the Lone Lands. We're going to run across the Lone Lands in the old map, get to the Troll Shaws, run across the Troll Shaws, and go to Rivendell, where I think we have to talk to the horse. And I think that's the only character we need to talk to in the Troll Shaws, it might be. Now notice we have 2.5 hours to do this. We're not going to take 2.5 hours to do this. You're not going to have to watch us run as a chicken for 2.5 hours. But it is really funny because when you first see this, you're like, oh my word, this is insane. This is going to take so long to run as a chicken to the Troll Shaws. But it goes a bit faster. You think it'll take an hour? 12,000 meters to go? Well, let's see. Oh, our speedy up isn't come back up yet. Too bad we don't have a hunter. You can't transport your chickens. It's just not allowed. Apparently, they disrupt those hidden ways that hunters know. I refuse to join a fellowship. I'm my own chicken. Well, I'm sorry we missed that other person who showed up. I'm thinking we were on different chicken quests at the time. So now, one thing that would be good to do is there's the chicken quest that to get Crosser of Roads, the title. I think that's the one where you go and do a bunch of. You have to go up the stairs that are at the end of the Misty Mountains. Hang on, I'll just pull up the map and show you what I mean. So let's see. Trollshaw's Misty Mountains. There's a set of stairs that you have to go up in this area that it's kind of like a switchback. And what you're doing in that session is there's these chicken nests that are found throughout Middle Earth in various places. And so, or stones, sorry, these chicken stones and bitter stair. And you have to go up to the stone and basically step on it, and it kind of goes, aha, you found the stone, yay. So you have to find a series of these stones. You don't have to do them in any particular order, but you do have, one of those stones is at the top of that bitter stair. And there's Angmarim, I think, that are standing and patrolling along there. So you have to be really, there's like one little section that you have to go really close to the edge, and you kind of have to wait till the patrol goes just to the right place, and then you have to zip along. And it's crazy. So so that one's a little rough. We won't probably do that. In fact, I think if we were going to do that, we'd have to pick a time when I would do an extended stream. It would be just chickening. Want to buy a Hunter Port to Rivendell? I'm a chicken. Yeah, and you can't post in world chat as a chicken. I mean, you don't have access to any of that. It's crazy. Like, yeah, what's a world chat? Exactly. Chickens don't even know what that means. Never heard of it. Yeah. Now, what some people do is they'll take an escort when they're doing these chicken quests. So you get, a friend or whatever to stay in as their regular character and to go ahead of you, just ahead of you, and to take out any enemy forces before you get there. I haven't tried that before. Every time we've done chicken sessions, we just run off as a chicken. Although I think one time, I think Affodil was doing chicken play and I was not. And so I think I may have been following along. But you have to be careful because you can take stuff out and then it respawns and your chicken is right there, so that's a bad thing. Hang on, let's stop for a second. So you see there's a stable master here, and we could look at him, but session players can't do that. We can't even interact with the stable master. I need your horse. No kidding. Can you imagine? It'd be like the Bjornings with the chickens. All right, let's keep going. Oh no, I've untooltipped you. How did I lose you? Hang on. Choop. Okay, we're back. Go for it. Yeah. So there's a visual glitch. So you can, at Hobnanigans, you can earn the Hobnanigans tokens, and you can use those tokens to buy various things. So one of the things you can buy is a chicken that you carry. And one of the things you can buy is a chicken, as a nest that goes on your head, and a chicken can sit in the nest. And so it's one of those two that if a Bjorning is doing it and changes from their human form into the bear form, then it looks like there's a chicken just sitting on their back. It's really cute. Oh, someone got the Hobnanigans eggshell helm outfit. Okay, so this one's funny. It looks like a half of an eggshell, like you cracked an egg, and you just took half the shell and you stuck it on your head, and it's a helmet. It's a very silly look. But it cracks me up when I see people wearing it. If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest from Sanson's farm I've ever been. And then you take one step and you say it again. See above, yes. Now, we are now in the Shire, in Breeland. So we have made it into Breeland as chickens. The things are, of course, more dangerous here, but we're level 1 chickens. And I swear that the chickens have less of an aggro radius than your average, low-level character. Because I have taken the same path as a chicken and been fine, and taken the path as a, level 10 something, and they find me and they come after me. So apparently, yes, chickens are more stealthy than you would expect. Who knew? But that would be great if you could ride a horse as a chicken, just, and like the wings would flap as you go. That would be fabulous. I also love the glitch where if you have a cosmetic pet following you and then you get on a chicken, or get on a horse, and the cosmetic pet still follows you, especially if it's like one of the goose or something and it's like got its big wings flapping as and you're riding your horse up in front of it. I love it. 11,000 meters to go. We're gonna make it. Well, it's probably a good thing that we're gonna do some of this because oh, I can't even look at the, yeah, okay, speed boost first. I just realized as a chicken I can't even look at the Lotro store. That's funny. All these things I didn't know you couldn't do as a chicken. So one of my plans for today was to do a race change with one of my characters. What would you pay with? Well, I would use the Lotro points of my main character. Yes, that's true. Chickens don't generally have wallets because we don't have pockets. But yes, I'd like to do a race change. And I was hoping to do that today here with all of you, and I got a whole bunch of stuff prepared for that. So the only problem is then Lotro tweeted out that they're doing maintenance on the store today. So it should be done about now. So if we get to, when we get to Rivendell and we finish that, then we'll pause and I'll see if the store is back up. And if it is, then we will do a race change here on the stream. So if that's something that you ever want to do, you can just kind of refer back to this and also take a look at the Lotro information. So hopefully make you a little bit more comfortable with the process. Oh, the maintenance was on the Lotro market, not the in-game store. Ah. Then I could have just, yeah, okay. Well, then never mind. Then yes, after we get to Rivendell, then we're gonna race change Rosenbloom here. Assuming there's still time. And now everybody is going to go and have chicken. Chicken chimichanga. That sounds pretty good. It would be fun to be a squirrel or a horse. Yeah, oh, what is that? There's one, like, okay, those of you, okay, so let me rewind ever so slightly. Yeah, we can't take the horse. Please, sir. I know, right? My legs are tired. My arms are tired. I just flew in. All right, should we do another zoom zoom? Zoom zoom zoom! Yay! That'll get us there just that much faster. It's like when you're jumping, when you're swimming, it just gets you that much faster, right? Okay, so I've been playing Lord of the Rings Online for a little over 2 years, like 2 years as of this past January. And yes, there was a horse. Apparently, for those who did the Rohan pre-order, there's a horse session play that you can do. It's much more abridged. It's not as in-depth as this, is my understanding. But man, it makes me wish that I could go back in time and get that, because I know where some of those horses are and I really want to go and interact with them. But it's not something you can go back and get. It's not available anymore. So those of you who have it, I'm jealous. And I would love to see somebody go through and do it sometime. Because yeah, I would I find really interesting that idea. So, yes, and there's deeds. There are deeds that are part of that, and we can't go and buy that, and so therefore we can't complete, for those of us who like to be completionists, we can't go and finish those deeds. Yeah, it's rough for us completionists. Breetown! So, there we go. I love the architecture of when you see Breetown from the outside, how it's got like some of the old ruins from before, and then they just kind of built into it and built on top of it and added to it. I think it's very clever. Whee! Oops, I stopped following when I jumped. Or layers. We'll find out. Wait, there we go. Whee! Here I come. Must resist jumping onto the prancing pony. Yes, we don't have time. Whee! I was, oh yeah, I was streaming one day and a bunch of chickens came through here and we got distracted and followed them for a few minutes. Because, it's hard not to. Bye! I would wave to you, but, I have wings and you probably wouldn't notice. Yeah, we can't even go into the Prancing Pony because we can't go into the Prancing Pony. We could try and jump on top of the Prancing Pony. That would be pretty funny. Oh, hey, there's stuff going on here. Oh, I should probably not get too close in case it sounds. So we have to make sure we don't have music that is not in-game music coming through on the stream because of, all the things about who owns what music and what's allowed to be heard. All right, but that is awesome. Could dance as chickens for a little while. You want some legendary edition cosmetics, but yep, too late for you. I know. I know it makes me wish that that there was a way to go back and get some of those things. Maybe someday. Maybe they'll offer some retro stuff. All right, so we're running through Bree as chickens. You could bring your level 1 and help with mobs in Rivendell. I don't even think you can be a level 1 outside of the intro areas, can you? Like, is there a way to still be level 1 and leave the introduction? Because I feel like I'm always level 5 by then. I guess you could try really hard and still be really low level. Yeah, so I don't think you can join us with your level 1. All right, run through Bree. Oh, do we have more music? Or it's just a lot of people being busy? There's just a lot of people. Nope, I think I see music. Maybe not. Another stable master we can't talk to. Wah, wah. Can you buy a turtle stone during the intro? Now that would be a funny idea, to turtle stone yourself at the very beginning. So for people who don't know, there's an object that you can purchase from the Lotro store called, I believe it's called the Stone of the Tortoise. And it stops your experience gain. So, let's say you're playing through the Shire and you're a level 10 and you're really enjoying being in the Shire and experiencing the Shire at the level of the mobs that are that are in there. Because if you come back at, level 15, level 20, everything in the Shire, you're just like pew, 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 pew. There's no challenge to it, right? So some people like to continue to have stay at a certain level and experience the challenge at that level. For example, we're in a group over on Landreval that we are currently capped at level 50, and we're going to spend hopefully at least the next 6 months doing the instances and the quests, and really just check out all the things we can do at level 50 and below. So that's a reason why you might want to do that, because other characters we didn't turtle stone, and I'm fine with this, and we just kept doing it. So we kept getting experience and more experience, and any time you come across a gray mob, you don't get any experience. Once you've leveled so far beyond it, they turn gray. Like these red dots indicate where they have red bar, but after a while they're gray and you don't get any experience because you're so far ahead of them. So once you get to that point, you don't get experience off them, but you're still getting experience off the quests that you do. And so we're, in Gondor and Rohan and whatnot. And, we're in Gondor. And we're like, level 110 doing level 90 stuff. And then we're like level 120 doing level 100 stuff. And so we're at the point where we're up to level 130. We both hit level 130, which is cap. And so we're not getting experience off of, any of those any defeating any mobs or anything in the area, but we still get experience off of not anymore, but off of the quests. So that's how we got to 130. And so doing those areas, it doesn't have the same impact necessarily when you're walking around in the fields as it would if you were on level. So that's a reason, one of the reasons why some people might want to get one of those Stone of the Tortoise, and you equip it on your character, which as a chicken, I have not looked at the chicken character screen before, I don't think. I'm a critter. That is great. That's my class. It's Critter. I can look at my skills. There's my skills. I have no passive skills. I have no group skills, and I have 4 active skills. That is fantastic. All right, on a non-chicken character screen, you've got like your jewelry and stuff over here, and you've got your armor and stuff over here, and one of the items is a pocket. You can have a pocket item, and it gives you whatever stats that are on the thing they put there. That's where your turtle stone goes. You have the morale of 26 deer. Oh, good. You go, Affadil. Red Baron says, not going to start this evening until 8:15, which is about 55 minutes. So if I want to continue, please do so. Okay, well, thanks. Good to know. So does that mean, so that probably means you're starting 15 minutes late. Okay, got it. Because Red Baron is, I believe, in the UK, and we're in the Netherlands, so we're actually an hour ahead of them. So it's already 8:15 my time. It's actually 8:20. Yeah, someone says at least the gray mobs don't attack you. It helps if you're just running through, and that is true. If you know, because for us, we're really into the epic storyline. I like reading, you know, what's going on and what's the storyline, because it is clear that the developers of the game really spent some time thinking about what's going on, why is this happening, how is this connected to other things, you know, and I as a storyteller of sorts myself, I really do enjoy, you know, the immersion that I can get in this game, and so reading those quests and everything is part of that for me. So given, you know, yeah, if we have the mobs not attacking us while we're trying to read stuff, it definitely takes me more into the storyline and less into the pew 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 of an MMO, given that it is, you know, it's a game where you go and hit things, but we hit fewer things. I don't know who this person is. Have you seen an elf? No? Okay. So yeah, maybe you could turtle stone just outside the intro, but that would be pretty funny. Let's see. You can disable player music option somewhere. Oh yeah, I did turn player music down to 0, just to be careful about that. And someone says they play on Landroval. Awesome. Yeah, I started off playing on Brandywine because Affadil had actually played Lotro when it first came out, and so, you know, they had some characters there, and so when I at some point was like, hey, I think it'd be fun for us to play, you know, some online gaming together. And we were looking around, and Lotro came up. And this is, like I said, a couple of years ago, like 2-3 years ago. And we were looking at various things and decided, well, let's try Lotro. It sounded like it ticked a lot of the boxes of the sort of thing I was looking for. And we decided to go with Brandywine because that's where they had characters originally, and it made sense at the time. Now, as many of you may know who have gone away and come back, you end up basically starting over anyway. So we didn't necessarily need to have started on that server, but at the time we didn't know. So we went ahead and he, you know, started playing those characters, and I started my own account, started playing my own characters, and that was good for a while. But after some time, we discovered that, you know, after a little more knowledge of the game and how things are set up, that there are EU servers and American servers. Now, I mean, in some version, you know, some reality, it doesn't necessarily matter because all the servers are physically located in the US, but the idea, they were separate at some point in the past. So the idea for us, though, was that people kind of populated into those servers based on their locations, and that is true somewhat. So we, living in Europe, thought, you know, boy, wouldn't it be nice if we played on the European servers where people who might be on at the same time as us. Brandywine being a US server, because the servers were separate at one time, they have slightly different coding involved, and so you can't transfer characters from one group to the other group. So our characters are stuck in the US group that were on Brandywine. But I started making friends various places, and It's a thing that I do. And we played on the Bombadil tournament server that happened last summer, made some friends there. And so basically I ended up deciding that I wanted to move my characters from Brandywine and move them over to Landroval. So that is where I took, first I was going to just do 1, maybe 2. And then I decided that I really wanted 3 out of the 5. So 2 of them stayed behind, 3 of them moved, which that's 2,500 Lotro points each. So that was a bit of planning and catching the sales when they were happening in order to prepare for that. But then, sales happened and we made the change. So yeah, so I play on Landroval, and those have my oldest characters. So they have, all sorts of materials and some knowledge and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. But I spend more of my time, we after Bombadil, we went to Evernight, because that's also an EU server. And a bunch of people that we had played with on Bombadil went to there. So that's where our 130 characters are, actually. Because we had completed every single deed with those characters up through level 50. And then after the tournament was over, we were allowed to transfer them, and we transferred them. So we moved them there. Spreken jullie Nederlands? Nee. Ik spreek een beetje Nederlands, dank je. Yeah, on Evernight, though, there are more people that do speak Dutch, as well as French and German, and I think I see Croatian, and there's a lot of different languages that happen on Evernight, so that's fun. That's been fun for us. So yeah, so if you're ever looking for me, I'm on Landroval, Laurelin, Evernight, and Anor, mainly. I still have characters on Brandywine, but I just don't log in over there anymore. They just sit. They're there in case there's any concerts or something I want to go to. All right, people are talking about food. We had salmon tonight with rice and broccoli. And I've been doing the salmon with some miso. I've got like some miso paste for making miso soup. So actually I take some of that and some, oh golly, I just forgot the word. The green stuff that you get with the sushi, wasabi. I take some wasabi and some miso and a little bit of soy sauce, and I kind of put that on the top. And then a little bit of salt and some celery salt and a little onion powder and a little garlic powder and like a dab of butter, and just put that in the oven and let that cook for a while. And then we do rice and no green onions. That's just in the game. Yeah, rice and broccoli. It's pretty good. Oh, and I put some onions in with the broccoli these days. Red onions. That turns out really good. So for a new player, pick a regular or legendary server. That's a really great question. I would say you probably would start on a regular server just to kind of get used to things. But the main difference between a legendary server and a regular server is that on the legendary server, your experience is throttled down. So you get to spend more time at level doing more of the quests. So that can be really a nice thing. I guess if you are familiar with MMOs and you spend a lot of time already kind of familiar with the language of an MMO and kind of the style of things, I would say you could actually go to a legendary server. We play on Anor. Anor is a legendary server. There's Anor and Ithel. Those are the 2 legendary servers. Druid's Fire, who streams on Fridays, she plays on Ithel. And it's a much lower population on those servers because you do have to be VIP to play on the legendary servers. So you get a different crowd. And I mean, I don't want to speak terribly of people ever. So Lotro itself, I have found that the crowd is generally a bit more mature acting with each other. Yes, you still get trolls, and yes, you still get people who are rude. But I find they kind of gather places more and some other places less. And I find that they are definitely a lot. The crowd on Anor is definitely a much more mature crowd. And the Lotro players in general, it seems like skew a little bit on the older side, possibly because, we're Lord of the Rings fans, or I'm not sure why, but there's, maybe because it is based in a book series rather than, a cartoon style or anything like that, maybe. So I find being VIP is great, and I like playing on Anor quite a lot. Now, the only problem you find with the legendary servers, though, is you don't necessarily have the resources. Like, you as a character have access to gathering wood or gathering ore or gathering scholar materials, but you as a single character cannot gather all of those things. So there is already built in an idea that you have a lot of cross-populating between characters. So, I need this. Oh, I need to go find a friend who can do that for me. And you trade and whatnot. So people use the auction house or friends or their kinships to kind of facilitate that. And on Anor, you might find fewer people. On the other hand, if you just post something in world chat and you're like, hey, I'm new and I'm trying to figure this out, you're going to get tons of people who are going to help you. That's the kind of advice I would say if you're new and deciding which server to go to. Also, I would say pick a server that's kind of in the region that you are. So if you live in America, maybe go to Landroval is great because it has a very strong music community, and there's some really neat people involved with that. If you're kind of oceanic, that would be Arkenstone, right? If you're in the EU, Evernight's a good one. Crick Hollow, I've heard also good things about. I forget which side that one's on. There are some that I won't recommend. You could always ask here in the chit chat too. People will tell you their favorite servers. Let's see, what else have we got? Talk about food. More food. Somebody says, I think it's rare to find rude people in Lotro. Best gaming community I've seen. I would say that's very true. I will admit that I have found rude people, and so I've raised kids, and I have less tolerance perhaps for people being jerks to each other, so I call people out sometimes. And so somebody was, I don't know, they were being rude in world chat on one of the servers, and I was like, hey, this is not what you are providing here is not great for, say, a new player coming in, because they're like, well, everybody knows blah blah blah, like what we're saying is blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, you're just not being very welcoming here. Like the way you're acting, the things you're saying, here's what you're doing. And they were not receptive to my words. So it was one of those, well, if you don't like it here, why don't you just leave? And I was like, that's, again, not really the community that I see in Lotro, doesn't act like that. So once in a while, you have people like that. In the end, I took his advice and I left. I went to another server. Crick Hollow is a US server. Okay, I think I've heard good things about Crick Hollow also. So if you don't want to walk everywhere and run into music everywhere you go, I guess you wouldn't pick Landroval, but why would you not want that? I just think Landroval is so much fun. I love how I could be at a festival and just over there doing my fishing thing, and then there's a band playing behind me. I'm just like, that's just delightful. The interaction between people in the game on Landroval, I really like. Laurel Inn is my favorite server, though. I think Laurel Inn is my favorite. Laurel Inn is a role-playing server, and it's none of it's strict, you're going to get kicked off if you don't, whatever. But I really appreciate on Laurelin how people go out of their way to try and engage with the role playing that happens. So that's one of my favorite things. What a strange rock. It's awful big for a chicken or a rooster. So we're on Laurelin right now. And like I said, it's one of my favorites. It's probably my favorite. Part of that is because I have I play a hobbit most of the time on Laurelin, and I interact with other hobbits, and I really just enjoy that experience. I'm enjoying that quite a lot. So yes, more hills. The Trollshaws. It's not called the Hillshaws, it's called the Trollshaws. You just left Gladden for Landreval, and it's your first day on Landreval. Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy Landreval. I like I said, I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's gonna play. Yes, it should be called the Hillshaws. There are a lot of hills. Or the Tree Shaws. The Forest Shaws. The Troll Forest. The Hill Forest. That's a little on the nose. That's more Shire sounding. The Hills. You see, again, that's more Shire sounding, right? Because the Shire is very nose, very on the nose. It's very much like, hey, what are we going to call that place by the water? How about Bywater? What about that town full of hobbits? Hobbiton? What about the big, thing where the land goes up? The hill? A question. Favorite class to play? Hunter. Mine's a hunter. Did I miss somebody asking that? I'm so sorry. I've gotten that before. You never want to call someone out for World Chat for being rude. The thing is, though, is if one person is being rude on World Chat, I will usually, well, it depends on the situation. It really depends on the situation. But, I think it's essential that you point it out, that somebody points it out to them. Because if they don't, for two reasons. One, it'd be nice if they would take that and stop doing that behavior. And two, you want other people to recognize that if they're feeling upset by that person's behavior, that what that person is doing is an anomaly. And it is not normal behavior of the community. And three, you want people who are going to drift to not drift toward acting that way. So that's my thinking on it. So if somebody is being mean to other people, I think it's, for me, and again, it depends on my mood and what else is going on and what's exactly going on in the world. But, I like to try and present a more positive experience for people. So if somebody's providing a negative experience, I try to step in and be like, hey, how about a positive one? Let's do this nice. Let's be nice here. So, but it's true. If people are, they can team up on you, and it's, like I said, that was more on the server that I don't play on anymore. So I have not had that experience elsewhere. So that's been good. You wanted to go to more in-game concerts and events? Yeah, Landerball is definitely the place for that. There used to be way fewer trees in the Trollshaws. Well, if you're looking at it from a chicken point of view, you see a lot of trees. Does it cost to switch servers? I heard you have players on many servers. So yes, I think I probably covered that. That probably is an older question. But yes, it does cost to switch servers. It costs 2,500 Lotra points. I think it's like $24.95. It rounds, So usually if I want to play on a new server, I just start a character there. It's way, way cheaper, better way to do that. Yeah, $24.95 says somebody else. Yep. Okay, so what is my favorite class to play aside from chicken? Yes, so the short version of that answer is hunter. I have tried other things, and right now I'm just, a hunter is what I come back to. That's where my comfort zone is. Oh, sorry, do you want me to do let's do a speedy boost. Here we go, doing foul fleetness for you. Dun, dun, dun. I have played a number of different classes. my yeah, you can always block people you don't want to interact. Sorry, I'm still looking at the chat. You can always block people you don't interact with, and I have done that with, but I do that on rare exception. I mean, I'm one of those people that I like to give people second chances. I like to believe the best in people. You know, I think humanity is decent overall. That has been tested at times. But so I like to think the best of people, and thankfully the Lotro community does a good job of reconfirming that most of the time. What's the Strider quest line? Strider quest line. I mean, he's everywhere. Okay, good. You guys are figuring that out. So back to classes. So my very, very, very first character, I thought, boy, wouldn't it be fun to make a character like Gimli? So I created a dwarf, and he was a champion. What's up? Yeah, my dwarf champion. And he, you know, all those the dwarven things as you run around yelling, and he was a treat. But I had a hard time like seeing things because I was so low, and I was brand new to this world. So finding things, I get lost really easily, and I run into things. This is the only dangerous part. Well, you know, if there's big bad horses, then yeah. Oh, this is the dangerous part. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pay attention. There might be creatures and stealthy things. Okay. All right, so we'll be paying a little bit more attention here. So yeah, so I liked playing Hackville, but I had a hard time, and I was, you know, I'd have to run up to something and hit it, and I wanted to be both really good at hitting things, but also able to take a lot of damage. Now, I should mention that this is the first MMO I've really engaged with. I tried WoW, didn't really connect. I've played D&D for many, many years, and Pathfinder, and so a lot of pen and paper stuff. But when it comes to, and I've, you know, I had like an Atari 2600, and whoa, I got stuck on a rock or something there. And I've played a lot of video games over the years. But when it comes to MMORPGs, this is one of the first ones that I really, you know, got into. So I was learning not just how to play this game, but how to play this genre of games. I'd also played Diablo 3 a lot on the console, and really loved that game. So I was able to take some of that knowledge and apply that here, as well as like my RPG experience and stuff. But again, you know, I mean, there's kind of a language and a style to playing an MMORPG. And so I was learning a lot of that, as well as learning how to play a champion. Now, Affadil was playing a hunter hobbit, and I noticed that I was really jealous of the hunter being able to just like take things down so fast. Like there was times when I would like run up to something, go to hit it, and the hunters just finished it off. So, oh, it looks like somebody may have cleared for us. Well, that's all right. I'm okay with that. Like easy mode for the moment is okay. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I want to play a distance character. Maybe melee isn't my thing, right? So, because I had played a number of different things in Diablo, and I kept switching around between them, but the combat was always really close by, so it didn't matter whether I was melee or ranged. I always had something to hit. So I switched to a minstrel because I was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I could heal people? I like that idea. So I tried a minstrel for a while, and she became my favorite character for quite a while, actually. And really enjoyed playing her. And then I was like, so that was a character for us to play together. I had the minstrel, and then he created a captain, maybe? Or a guardian? Another melee, you know, defend you kind of character. So we did that kind of the swapping. And I discovered that I was definitely enjoying the ranged more. So then there were times when I wanted to play, and you know, and Affadil wasn't available. So I was like, okay, well maybe I'll create a character that I can play by myself. And so then I created a lore master. Lore master was really cool. She's a human, so that was my first human because my minstrel's an elf. So I was kind of trying to like match up different, races and classes. So my human lore master, she's really cool, and I really enjoy playing that. But I don't play her often enough, so I forget everything that she knows how to do. But I really do. I do like the lore master, and dash. I need to do a dash here. Okay, doing a dash. So lore master, very fun, very cool. Don't play it often enough. Then I started a Hobbit burglar because that's the classic, right? You've got your dwarf champion and you've got a Hobbit burglar. And I just really couldn't connect with the burglar skills. Again, it's back to melee mostly. And I have discovered that I'm just not mentally a melee person, I like the range stuff. So at some point I tried a hunter. Funny thing is I can't remember which one was my first hunter. Might have been on Bombadil? No. It was on Anor. Because a friend of mine plays on Anor, and so I started a character there thinking maybe she and I would get a chance to play together, but we're in completely different time zones. Because she's in the US and I'm here, and our sleep schedules are exactly opposite, unfortunately. So, but I started playing a hunter there by myself and discovered I really liked that. And so I think half of my characters are hunters now. And I just started a hunter high elf on Landreval before the festival ended, so she's got the mount. Because I'm probably in that Turtlestoned group going to switch out because I'm playing a minstrel in there, but I'm probably going to switch her out for a hunter. So there's a very long explanation of what classes I play. Oh, there's a strange chicken nest. So that's for that other thing. Yeah, a different quest to do that. Okay. All right, keep taking us to the horse. To the horse, I say. Okay. What have I missed? Ooh, we're coming up. If you do Bingo Boffin, I think this is where you come in. I think, yeah, this is where you meet Bingo at one point to get his way into Rivendell. Let's see. Severlin posted the producer's letter. The link is there. That was, like a month ago? So that's pretty cool. Dun, dun, dun. Talk about shared storage and storage transfers and things like that, which are not free anymore. Everything is aggressive on a chicken. Chickens aren't aggressive. I know you mean aggressive towards a chicken, yeah. Chickens, the most hated species in Middle Earth. Aww. Now, you do have to be careful going through here because you might want to be tempted to take the shortcut. But if you fall and are defeated, you have to start all over. So even though you're a chicken and you can fly, don't give in to that temptation. Do not be tempted to jump off the edge and fly your way down. It won't work. Aw, somebody does not like Bingo Boffin. I find the Bingo Boffin questline amusing. Now, I go out of my way to do it in the early parts and catch it up to wherever my epic line is. And then from then on, I try to keep it in line with my epic stuff. I actually finished the Bingo quest line. I think with our completionist characters, I think we finished it. So that was neat. And I found out that after the fact that if I'd had my horseshoe on, it adds another character to the final quest. So I should have done that. I'll do that next time. Lotro bonus days VIP event boost through April 11. So cool. So yeah, sometimes if you're a VIP, they have bonus days where you get a bonus experience for various things. questing or crafting or whatever. Yes, watch your step. You would not want to tumble into the river. Yeah, getting in and out of the river is annoying. It's difficult. To the left. All right, let's go. I'm going to zoom. Oh, yeah. Foul fleetness. Here's a little guest house where you find Aragorn over and over again. Awesome. Well, this will be good. We'll have 20. Yeah, we have 10 plus 15, so 25 minutes. We should be able to do a race change in that time after we talk to the horse. Oh, man, you got ahead of me. I'm a slow chicken. Yeah, I'm coming. This is why I follow Affodil a lot of the times, because, yeah, Affodil knows the secret ways. It's like you're a hunter. When I'm not playing a hunter, I really miss the travel skills. I love Travel Window. This is a plugin, and I mean it's not really giving you the full tour here as a chicken, but it fills in with stuff. I'll show you on my hunter. Yeah, let me put it this way. I love the hunter so much that I want to play hobbits on this server. And my hunter on this server came from the Bombadil server, and she's a human. And I've decided that I'm going to race change her. I'm going to spend the Lotra points to race change her to a hobbit so I can play my hunter. I mean, I could start another one, but nah. Oh, here we go. You must have traveled far, for there is little that is close to Imladris. Yeah, tell me about it. I am the steed of Aragorn, son of Arathorn, chieftain of the Dunedain of the North, breaker of chains. No, wait, wrong one. What have I to do with chickens? I wait here for my master's call, when we will assail the hosts of Mordor. I cannot help thee in the Shire. Well, you got all informal with us there at the end. All right, session complete. There we go. We made it to Rivendell. That was unsatisfying. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, you never got your chicken there, got killed after crossing the ford. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, you can always get a friend to help you and escort you and take out the stuff for you. So if you find that doing it solo chicken is kind of hard, grab a buddy, have them take out the things for you. There's no shame in that. A live chicken with a friend is more satisfying than a dead chicken. So. All right, George, my current quest, cut. Flying the coop, Troll Shaw's. George flaps his wings excitedly. It seems he sees something approaching. Would that be the rooster? Who has a report? I think that rooster is supposed to be us, then, basically, you see. Coming in, giving the report. All right. Bye, rooster. Many servers organize occasional larger chicken runs to make it easier. I have heard that. Yeah, I've heard if you keep an eye on the forums sometimes. And actually, you can always organize one yourself. So, speaking of Travel Window, so there's a number of different ways you can use Travel Window. You can do a text list, an icon grid, a carousel, or a pull-down list. I like the icon grid, and then I put them in a very specific order that works for me. And so I've got my milestone skills first, and then I've got my housing, and then I've got things like, on my hunter, I usually stick these at the end, is the ones that you get for just you, and then I have all of my group travel skills are usually together. So actually I need to move those too. So I've got my campfire, which is set to the hill, because it probably was a festival last time I used it. And then, yeah, Bree and the other areas, and then it goes forward from there. So that's how I like to have my travel thing. You like the text list better? Yeah. I can't, yeah, I don't know. I play around. Every once in a while I'll change it, but I found the text grid makes me pretty happy. They did an update recently and it rearranged all of them out of that order, and oh my gosh, it just, every time we get on here I start complaining and or like, maybe I could save these in a text file and then just overwrite it. You can tell it's like where your priorities are. Okay, so, all right, we have some time. We're gonna give it a go. So here we go. We are going to try and do a race change. Would I like some pie? Well, I will very soon because I will be a hobbit. So you'll see Rosenbloom here. She looks very, very tall. She is too tall for a hobbit, and she feels very hobbity these days. So we are going to race change her. So I did a couple of things. So one thing that you'll find out. Well, let me go back here. Let's do, is it this one? How do I do this? We set this up earlier so I can switch over to things. Race change. Changing your race. OBS. There it is. There we go. Okay. So this is on lotro.com. This is so this is straight from the source. And here I'll put this into the chit chat in case anybody else wants to see that. Okay, so that's where we are. So you have that. So you want to follow along. So if you want to change your race or your gender or your origin, this is how you do it. So you can buy a race change token. So first you log into the server where you want to undergo the change. So this is where I want to go. You open the Lotro store and you're going to purchase the character race change token. Now you don't have to do this on the character that you're going to do the race change on, but you must be on the right server because you can't move this token around to different servers. So let's see. Character race change. So we're going to rewrite her history. And it says, again, there, this item can only be used on the game world where purchased. So, okay, so, oh, right. Sorry, we'll come back to that. There we go. Yes, so there's the race change token. So we're going to go ahead and, oh, you can't see it there. Let me close that. There we go. Ta-da! But here's the race change token. So we're going to go ahead and click on that and buy one of those. All right, confirm, buy item, yes. Boom, now I have taken that step. All right, so the next thing it says to do, oops, oh no, I clicked on something. Again. There we go, is then you gotta open your inventory and look at the thing. So, we're going to open our inventory, and there it is. So we're going to consume this token, and that's going to allow us then to change the race or gender of one of the characters within, but you're still within class restrictions. So for example, she's a hunter, so I can't change it to a race that wouldn't have hunters, for example. Like I can't change her to a Bjorning. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and consume this token. Zoom. Okay, so the next step, and we're going to pause at one of these steps, but I'm going to go ahead and keep walking you through the steps here. So the next step is you log out and go to your character select screen. So we'll do that here in a moment. Wait till you're completely logged out and you go to your select screen where you're picking which character you want to play. Now at that point, down at the bottom, you're going to have so where it says new character and then delete character, and then underneath that it says change. That will be highlighted. So before we do that though, I want to take a quick look at, so right now she is a human, race of man, okay? So this is what we know about the race of man deeds that exist. For example, enmity of the dead, so defeat a bunch of wights. Enmity of the wargs, defeat a bunch of wargs. Enmity of the hillmen, defeat a bunch of hillmen. When I switch her to a hobbit, her racial deeds change. So then it'll be enmity of the wolves, enmity of the spiders, enmity of the goblins. Now my understanding then is that anything that happened that I've done previously, that's all going to go away. Now, if I were to race change her back to a human, anything I did as a human will, she remembers that and it'll come back to her. But as long as she's a hobbit, she kind of forgets all of that stuff. So in her log, one of the questions I have that we'll be able to answer with this is, for example, I've gone and done the Shire deeds. I've done a lot of the Slayer deeds in the Shire. So, for example, Spider Slayer, I've defeated at least 60 spiders because that's how we finished that deed, right? So my question is then for, say, this one, for like enmity of the spiders, let me scoot that up a little more. For the first level, you need to have defeated 50 spiders. Well, I've done that. But my understanding is I have to start all over towards these racial deeds. Even though I may have already done some things that would have counted toward it, I have to start all over. So that's my understanding on how this token's going to work and how this race change works. Okay, so let me see. Was there anything else I wanted to look at before we go ahead and go through that? So yes, my basic question is the defeats that we've done previously, are they going to count or not? And I'm guessing the answer is no. My understanding is the answer is going to be no on that one. One other thing that's interesting is the mounts. Let me get rid of my inventory. So our collection of mounts here. Notice how it's like horse and things like that. So I've got horses because I'm a human. I'm from the race of man. So those are all going to be switched out and become ponies because, hobbits and dwarves have ponies. So any critters that I've renamed, any mounts that I've named will change to the default pony name. But if I were to switch back to race of man, they would come back to whatever I had renamed, if I had renamed any of my mounts. I don't think I have, but just in case. So it'll be interesting because, like, say, for example, I've got this treasure-laden horse. Well, that's going to become a treasure-laden pony after we've done our race change. So, okay, so that's really interesting. So we're going to drop off of there. Okay, and so go. It's told me I have one race change credit available. I have to log out to proceed with that race change. So that's cool that it's reminding us to walk us through that. All right, so let's take a look at the instructions again. So, okay, yeah, so it told us we have to log out. So you know what, we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, bye, Fidel. See you on the other side. All right, so we're gonna log out, Rosenboom. And then, like it says, we need to wait for it to do the complete log out. So we're waiting. And so once that's done, you'll notice down here now, I'm on top of it. So let me move my picture to the other side. Let me close that. Cool. Okay. So now you'll see we've got new character, delete character, like always, but now we have change race. So cool, we're on track. So we're gonna click, oh, I was gonna show you, I was gonna go to the barber. That's okay. I went to the barber beforehand and I took a look. Okay, so I clicked race change and now it has this person. So we're gonna keep her as a female. She's gonna become a hobbit. Awesome, and she's still her hunter. Notice she's still a hunter because this whole side over on the side is blanked out because we don't get to make any changes over there. And it tells me the cool stuff, the things to know about your new race. Okay, cool. So we've done everything we want to do there. We're gonna continue. Okay, so we're gonna hit continue. Now I get to go through the whole process of her look. So I went ahead, and she is going to be the sister of one of my other characters. So I went ahead and took some notes there. So they are of the Harfoots. They are the most prodigious hole dwellers and were the first to cross the west into Eriador. All right, and then we went with head number 10 and hair number. Do we want the same hairstyle? See, Adamantia has the pigtails, but now I'm thinking maybe we can change it later, but you know, I want to pick something interesting to start. Does that look like a hunter? No. No, I don't want the spiky here. No, I don't think that's it either. You know, this is always the hardest part, right? You gotta make sure you look like, because you're gonna be looking at yourself all the time, right? Oops, did I click some? Okay, hair. I don't want to look like everybody else either. Like I want to look like somebody different. All right, so 17 is a maybe. Oh, that's cute. Is that similar to what I had before? Okay, we're going with this one. Okay, and then let's see. So we did 10. We picked a different hairstyle. 2, 13. We'll just go backwards. I like it when my characters look like they're smiling. And then details, I have 6. Wait, is that the freckles? Yeah, freckles. Gotta have freckles. All right, so now we have to decide what eye color she's gonna have. So, oh yes, as a reminder to everybody that Red Baron is going to be about 15 minutes late, which is perfect time for me to finish this race change. And yes, and if you have some thoughts on what you'd like to see in Red Barons tonight, go ahead and post that in the chat. Okay, so her eyes, we could go with a brown. Here, let me switch things around again. Now that you guys can see that side, we'll move that over here. Okay, so let's see, for eyes, I'm kind of partial to the green. So I think we might go back with the green again. And for her skin color, well, pretty dark as we can, pretty much. And then for hair, kind of go with like maybe a light brown and slightly stronger body size. Okay, so there we go. So we've done all the changes we want to do here. And make sure Harfoots was right, yeah? Yeah, Harfoots, yep, cool. Okay, and we're gonna apply the change. Here we go. And all the wait, the anticipation. She's coming, she's coming, she's coming. Ta-da! Dun, dun, dun. All right, so there we go. Now she's in her same outfit, but now it's all hobbity sized. Okay, we'll do a wave. Ta-da! Yes, I seem shorter. I got over my height problem. Okay, so that was still there because I didn't clear that. Okay, so what I wanted to do though is we wanted to take a look at those racial deeds, right? Because we know that we had done some of the progress towards them, but does it count? And my guess is probably no. So let's see here. Oops, I don't want to be there. Here we go. Okay. So class, race, epic, race and social. Oh, if we haven't done any of it, it probably won't even show up. Let's see. This is my completed. So let's see. Yeah, I see 0 completed. So even though we know we had already done for Breland, or sorry, not Breland, for the Shire. See, this is the same, completed, we have completed Wolf Slayer Advanced, but my Enmity of the Wolves, it looks like I got to start all over. Not surprised, but it's good that we were able to confirm that. So actually, maybe we'll go shoot a wolf real quick, just to start that deed. Oh hey, you know what? I'm a hunter. All right, is there? Oh my gosh. There's a snarling wolf. Oh, did you find one that way? I was gonna say, yeah, there's one over here. All right, let's go shoot a wolf. I have quite the range as a hunter, you see. Okay. Oh, I'm on red line. I guess I could just put auto shoot. Boom, new deed, Enmity of the Wolves. So you can guess what I'm going to be doing. So there you go. So there is a race change that we got to see in person. And let's see, was there anything else that they had listed as race and change information? So let's see, they had, they basically had more information about, you can see how many race change tokens you have. If you hover over it, you can change to any race available to your class, which we already talked about. You can only change races that align with your class. You can change the gender or the origin. So if you just wanted to be like, instead of the Harfoot, you want to be of the stores, you could spend your 2,500 Lotro points and just do that if you wanted to. You can select any of the character customization options that are out there. And when you apply the change, it's going to log you right back in with your new character. So, and then they've got a list of things to keep in mind. So if you are wanting to do this at some point, you'll want to double check this. The few things to keep in mind, like you have to be at least level 10, it has to be compatible with your class, which they mention a few times, but it's, you know, it's good to make sure you do that. It's only usable on the server where you purchased it. Once you consume it, you know, you can only be used by one of the characters on the server, and so on. So it was a really good walkthrough that they had there on the Lotro.com page. So I definitely recommend, if this is something you're considering doing sometime in the future, to run through that. And then, yeah, if I'm like, oh, you know what, that hairstyle does not work for me, I need to change something else, you can always go to the barber, and there is one here at the Bird and Baby Inn here in Micheldelving. So, okay, well, that was exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed that race change. I've been looking forward to doing that for quite a long time. So, all right. Thank you guys all so much for coming along. Oh, yes, put my leafy feet on. There we go. Now my leafy feet are on. Cool. For a second, I thought I was wearing shoes. I'd be like, what? What self-respecting hobbit wears shoes? Goodness. All right. So next week, we're going to do a lot more chicken time. I have some other folks who also might be joining us. And if you would like to join us also as a chicken, feel free to do so. We might go over also the way I have my chat tabs set up. You can't see them, but I could show them to you temporarily. So I have a whole bunch of chat tabs here. And we might go over that next week and kind of look at how the different ways that I play around with having that to make it my life a little easier. All right, well, Red Baron is coming on soon, so thank you all for joining me today. And wherever you go, I hope you stay in touch with the heart of your hobbit, your hobbity heart. All right, thanks. Bye, everybody.